of the government got.
And keep an eye on this with Canada, under the guise of being nice. There may just be an incentive that Pensions Canada continues benefits to family members if you off yourself. Maybe debt forgiveness, of tax debt forgiveness, that kind of thing. A subtle little incentive that, hey, you know, if you
But they won't present it as an incentive. They'll say, well, people shouldn't lose their policies just because of assisted suicide.
Well, because you've saved us money, we're going to make sure that your heirs do extensive benefits for a few years or something.
Don't be
That's right.
Hey, it was more nice. So, well, wait a second. Just because they're not incentivize the fatherless black household, Lyndon Johnson, which I'm a great society, talking about the Model Cities program. It's presented as a gift. It's when the left is presented, it's almost always a Trojan horse. And by the way, the health minister of Canada just has this to say.
Morning, last responder.
Sorry, wrong clip. Here's the health minister.
If they'd rather die, then they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Well, that's fair.
Well, at least it's concise. Now we have some. Does anyone want to get to the numbers? Let's get to the numbers on here. Okay,
this is shocking.
So I want to be clear. This is the term is medical assistance in dying. Right, that's the term. Is medical assistance in dying. So it's called MAID.
It's a weird acronym.
Well, yeah, they want you to picture a sexy lady in an outfit with a feather duster. But really, it's just Kevorkian. You're not using this hard, are you?
They're cleaning up the old folks' homes.
Yes.
That's a maid service.
Well, cleaning up the old folks' homes would be giving them some antibiotics with a clap. That's the highest rate of STD. You know that? It's old ladies in old folks' homes.
Yes.
Yes, those broads get around slowly, but a lot.
Lots of blue pills and lots of banging.
Yep.
I'm just saying, it's true.
By the end of the week, the tennis balls on that walker run flat. I'm coming.
And you're wearing a gown that snaps in the back. So.
It's easy access.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's also sexy.
Any hole will do. No.
So, here's another fast fact for you, or a few of them, I should say. 3/4 of Canadians favor no. Okay, so 77%.
Wow.
Okay, but here's the other scary part: 1/3 of Canadians, over 33%, support MAID, meaning the assisted dying. I always forget exactly what it entirely means, but people who are poor or homeless. Wow. 1/3 of Canadians support it. So when you say, hey, hold on a second, what's the next leap? You just get rid of someone because they're homeless? You get rid of someone because they're a burden? Hey, hold on a second. Isn't that crazy to think that way? If abortion is now used because a baby might be disabled? Or if abortion is used simply because the mom feels like she would have a tough time raising a kid while paying for college. Why is it such a crazy leap to say, you know what, this is going to be used to simply cull the population, especially if it's combined with the fact that they've all said, we need to depopulate the earth.
That is insane.
And that's the acronym for that program. It's called.
Yes.
The poor or the homeless. That's stuff that makes Hitler blush.
Here's the thing. They even offered, there are all references available, by the way, louderwithbetter.com. You're not going to believe what I'm about to say. Okay?
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Just look up the stories.
They offered the services to people who didn't even want it.
No, you want the service.
Yes.
You're going to love it.
So, one example, a veteran who was suffering from a traumatic brain injury. There was a man in Ontario who alleged that the hospital staff were encouraging him to accept assistance from me. And there was a veteran who was offered, instead of a wheelchair ramp, they offered him MAID. He was like, can I get a wheelchair ramp? They said, MAID? He said, what is that? When they explained it to him, he said, no! Now, to be fair, they did come together. They did come together and decided to split the difference. So the government did help them, yes.
Oh my goodness.
People on audio.
Pit of hell.
You can just, go watch on visual. You can smash the rumble button if you're watching now. That's scary too. They're going,
yeah.
Hey, like people who would go door to door. Remember at the hospital, sometimes they get to pay for the TV in Canada?
Yeah.
Like, do you want the TV? I'm like, I'm in the hospital. Like, everything else is an upgrade here. It's like Spirit.
You want the full benefits of the
It's like,
hospital
but wait,
experience.
Yes.
you can kill yourself.
Yes.
Like, there's more. No, it's
I just want a ramp.
Yeah. No.
I need a slight incline.
Death? It's like a really bad used car salesman who's trying to get you to buy death every single time.
Let me bring my manager in here and see if we can't get a deal.
So they've been in the wheelchair for a while. This isn't a new condition.
Look at that guy. He's a high-level athlete.
Euthanize me instead of giving me a wheelchair ramp for accessibility. There was another story that I saw that I was looking at one of the news.
Now, to be clear, we don't know all the ins and outs of that story. But I'm willing to bet that that's probably an accurate description, knowing Canada.
Pretty close.
The fact that it's even within the realm of possibility or within striking distance
Yeah.
of the real world is different.
Yeah, and so there was a guy in this news story that they were talking to, and he said he has chronic back pain. He's had it for a long time, and they actually interviewed him and said, "Why are you even considering this?" He's like, "Well, I don't want to die. I would rather keep on living, but my rent is about to go up, and I don't have the money to pay for it, and so I would be homeless, and so that's not an option." First into doing this instead of becoming homeless because his rent's going to go up, and so he's got a doctor that's written a note because he has chronic back pain, and he is in a lot of pain from what he said, but it's not enough to make him want to kill himself. But the fact that he would be in pain and be homeless, he's like, well, then I just give up.
Right.
And you give him this option. It's like, that is not compassionate.
No.
For
A lot of people who are homeless are trained. There's a professionally homeless.
Yeah.
There are people who live out of their car for a while. There are people who just don't have a house for a little bit. They fall on,
Yeah.
they get hit some tough breaks. That's the thing is it is when they try and say like, oh, we're compassionate. What's
Morning,
compassionate
Indiana.
about hopelessness? When you tell someone you're in pain and you're homeless,
like the
you should
signal's
die.
going
That's
out for a
telling the
second.
person you're going to be in pain and homeless your whole life, and you have no purpose. If you tell someone you're in a wheelchair, and I said, yeah, hey, could I get just like a slight ramp? No, it doesn't even have to be like Gremlins, like the electric, raising, just a slight ramp. They're like, you know what though? I mean, you're in a wheel, which is kind of gross. So, how about a wood chipper? There's nothing compassionate about hopelessness. And this is why they have to make you find self-esteem in things that don't matter. Like chopping off your dick and balls. Like, you're a nurse, so you're a hero. Like, you're black, so you're oppressed. Or whatever it is. Oh, you're Asian, so you're oppressed today. Stop making it now, Mom. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to black. Let's go to trans this week. Let's go to, let's go to Asian American Pacific Islander. Whatever it is. Find your self-esteem and your self-worth in things that are temporary so that can be removed from you. If you find your self-worth, if you find your self-esteem not in yourself, but in something greater than yourself, yeah, that's where there's a God-shaped hole in the left. The difference is everyone has a God-shaped hole that they try and fill with something. The left deliberately fills it with the wrong thing.
Somebody else's package
With
is
some numbers here.
stuck in there.
A little bit scary. So, MAID represented in Canada.
Morning, Indiana.
3.3% of all guys. Wow.
It's like the signal's going wacky again.
So, the number of MAID requests.
Yeah, it's a small percentage, but
Small
Hey,
percentage.
Greg.
Let me hit you with some numbers here. The MAID requests that have actually been carried out is growing. So in 2020, it was 7,400 something. In 2021, it was 10,029. So, Canada only has a population of 30 something like that, 38 million. The United States is 330 million, something like that, somewhere between 30 and 50. Canada's MAID rate, meaning the assisted suicide rate, just that portion of their suicide, is almost double the rate of all United States suicides as a rate of population. In Canada, it's 26. In the United States, it's 14 suicides total per 100,000 people. Tell me it's not a culture of death.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. I mean, it is a culture that says that that's okay, too. And look, if you want to have a conversation about somebody at the very, very end, in incredible, excruciating pain, I can have that conversation. I don't think that I'll come to your side, but I can have that conversation and I can understand it. The grandmother that can go out to dinner this weekend, next week, and the following weeks, and the following month, you're losing me. The Paralympian who just wants a wheelchair ramp, you're losing me. And if you guys say that this is never going to become a slippery slope thing, it already is. We've just given you examples.
I'm on the flip side of it as it relates to hospice care and it relates to pain medication. I think if someone is old and someone is dying and someone is sick, whatever makes them feel better at that point, if we know they're going to die, it should be
Chocolate ice cream and
chocolate ice cream and fentanyl. I don't give a rat's ass. Whatever you want.
You can do that?
yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what
I think that it should be medical malpractice to, if you have someone who is in pain, to allow them to continue being in pain because the DEA says
That's
there's
all
a
right.
crisis somewhere. in
Busy
West
as
Virginia.
ever.
It's
I
not
got a
the
lot of
same as
appointments
someone
today,
who's
so
dying who should be
I'll try to do a desktop stream, but
They should
we'll
be
see.
comfortable. And I also think it's perfectly acceptable if you have someone in some kind of an
some
artificial
gas.
breathing machine at a certain point to say,
Turn it
okay,
off.
we're going to turn it off
Yes,
because
I
we're
agree.
keeping that is very different from that woman right there who just came from salsa dancing, offing herself. What was that, Hootie?
So yeah, you take those numbers into account with Canada's population of 38 million compared to the U.S. population of 331.9 million in 2021.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
Yeah.
10,000 people out of 30.
26 per 100,000 are assisted suicides in Canada. 14 per 100. It's almost twice just the assisted suicides in Canada compared to U.S. suicides overall.
With
Not to
10%
mention,
of the population.
yeah, not to mention you guys say, oh, we need to ban guns. What? Well, because what if somebody has a moment of weakness, a gun, right? There's no, it's final. Pills sometimes they come back from. By the way, a moment of weakness, just to be clear, can last months. It can last years. Okay? So they want to what? Control you. They're a god. They don't want you to be able to protect yourself, protect your family. Rely on the government, the almighty government. The cops will come. Police response time. By the way, the police are racist, so don't trust them. I'll tell you not to trust them. So I think it's 12 to 20,000 suicides by gun.
Sound tired? Yeah, I'm a little bit tired.
Total 14 per 100,000 in the United States.
It's only Tuesday, Taco Tuesday.
Certainly less than 14 per 100,000 are gun-related suicides. Almost 2 times the suicide rate from assisted suicide in Canada as all of. But yeah, let's ban guns to try and curb suicide. In Canada, by the way, can't really own a handgun, just to be clear. Okay, this brings us to another fact. When people talk about the United States as a shining city on the hill, you don't
Hey,
understand
Anna.
that this is very unique. There are other countries that allow active euthanasia. You have Australia, Belgium, Colombia, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, and by the way, they obviously had this in Nazi Germany. Of course, they gave that a try. It was Action T4, which then led to the systemic euthanization of German children and adults with disabilities. It wasn't just the Jews, to be clear. About
What's wrong with that?
were killed.
Just under that program.
Just under that program in 1 year.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he's got a nice riding lawnmower.
Concentrate on it.
Yeah. Budgetary.
I'll be right back.
He's like, well, Hassan, I don't want it. Wait, but rolling back prices.
We need more tanks.
Yes.
That's what you'll see in Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, since you're saving us money, we're willing to.
Well, when people mock, remember the guy, death panels, this all goes, these are all the same issues. Death panels.
Yeah.
Death panels. People said, that's silly. Well, people were using it as a, no, okay, we're not saying there's an official term, death panels, but we've had family members where they go, oh, hold on a second, you're so far along the trail with this kind of cancer, we don't really know, we're not going to offer you this kind of a treatment.
It's just an actuarial math problem. That's what it is. It's just death panel.
Well, but hold on. I mean, the left can no longer claim that death panels are not part of their thinking, because when COVID was going around and everybody was, whether they, or not they wanted to, there's a vaccine, I don't know if I want to do this. Okay, well, if you have a heart condition and you come to the hospital and you're unvaccinated, the person that has the vaccine and that same heart condition gets preferential treatment and gets a bed and you don't, or you can't work to provide a living for your family. Like, you absolutely do believe in turning this against the people and deciding who can get care and who can't and who deserves to live and who shouldn't live.
Yeah.
You absolutely do believe it, because you put it into practice over the flu.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Rod Rubble, I can say that. I get it.
You can say it, yeah, it won't get you banned at all.
Fantastic.
And I can say it right now because I have red tide.
Well, that's true. It's not the flu.
Yeah.
Still red.
And this is you know, I'd love to see your comments, and we, by the way, we collect them. We can't read all the comments, but here we do actually read your chats.
We do.
Leftism, progressivism, it really is a culture. It's a culture of death and destruction, and that's why I'm not a libertarian anymore. I would be considered small L libertarian in a lot of ways, but it's a culture, the left, and it only gets worse. If you look at any cultures of death, any death cults, whether they're small religious cults, or I would even argue Marxist governments like China, like Russia, like Cuba, like Catalonia, as we talked about yesterday, the anarcho-syndicalism. It can only become more deadly. And what do you have? You have abortion. I mean, in a physical way, and I also mean, by the way, in a figurative way. You have abortion, you have euthanasia, another way that our culture of death, catch and release, the recidivism rate, we've covered that, right? How many people die from criminals being released? You have open borders. How many people die or lose their life, basically their entire life, because they're sex trafficked as minors, which is the most horrific thing that I can possibly imagine. And then you also have the culture of death and destruction of American business, American pride, the belief of self-worth, the belief of perseverance, the belief that you can become a part of something greater than yourself, or you can create a life that is greater than your own today. The left tells you, no, it cannot happen. No, you can't. You're in pain today, you'll always be in pain. Here's a death pill. You're homeless today, you'll always be homeless. Here's a death pill. Hey, you can't afford health care today? Well, guess what? We'll give you free health care, but sorry, you're getting a little too expensive. Here's a death pill. It can't go any other direction. And by the way, it hasn't. It never has. With any communist, socialist, or progressive leftist government, it always gets, if it's not an entire culture of death with tens of thousands or millions dead yet, just give it time.
Yeah.
There's never been a single exception, not one. That's the big difference. That's the big difference in the worldview.
Yeah, and that's what the left wants for every single state that is controlled by Democrats. That's what California would want. That's what Chicago, Detroit, New York, all of those places want those types of policies that lead to death. I will say this. Let's save we have some information for everybody on the debt ceiling. We know that that's a big topic right now. We want to give you the ins and outs and talk about the fear mongering. We're already almost at that hour mark, so let's save that for tomorrow.
That's the Janet Yellen?
Yeah, the Janet Yellen and everything else. But
hold on really quickly before we do that. Just show us the Janet Yellen coddling. Yeah. I cannot see Janet Yellen. Tell us we're wrong.
Come on, that's like spot on.
Okay, what were we going to say there?
Well, I was going to say, though, while we have just a couple more minutes before we go behind the paywall, I know we're going to set up the Los Angeles Dodgers, but we do have a clip of the crash, the U-Haul white supremacist at the White House. So this happened, I believe, late last night, and I wanted to just go to this real quick. And
it was a white just to be clear, a white supremacist drove a U-Haul.
Yes.
Super white.
Yeah,
super white supremacist. So. And where did they drive you drove the U-Haul into?
Into a barrier in front of the White House.
A barrier in front of the White House,
so,
right.
Yeah, let's just...
And so now we have a new clip.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A man is under arrest this morning for crashing a U-Haul into barriers right in front of the White House, and we are getting chilling new details about what he appeared to have with him. Officials say that at about 10 p.m., the truck drove into security barriers on the north side of Lafayette Square, 16th Street. You can see that is right next to the White House grounds. The Secret Service says no one was injured in the incident. Bomb technicians searched the truck, but we were told no explosives were found. What was found? A flag that appears to show a swastika.
This coming just from the U.S. Park Police just moments ago. They have released the name of the suspect.
Listen to the name.
He is identified as, we believe his name is pronounced Sai, S-A-I is the first name, Sai Varshith Kandula, 19 years old, from Chesterfield, Missouri.
And by the way, what we believed was a U-Haul was actually a food truck.
Yes.
It was, well, actually very cleverly called U-Haul Biryani. U-Haul Biryani.
It looked like he just missed his turn.
Yes,
like he didn't swing one.
Also, a white supremacist.
Yes. I'm willing about the
Yeah, exactly, Anna. That's what I was telling you the other day. They're really misusing that word.
Excuse me, sir. Are you a Nazi? Yes. So you're a white supremacist? No. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Are you a fascist? No. Okay, this is going nowhere. Let's just tell CNN he was a racist.
Let's also, by the way, this is a little weird, let's also lay out the Nazi flag right in front of the U-Haul for the photo op.
Yeah, I know.
Sure. It's a completely empty U-Haul. The guy may have, he may have been trying to do everything. By the way, it's a very ineffective policy to drive an empty U-Haul van into barriers a block away from the White House.
What was he thinking?
It's Lafayette Park. It's a park.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're Timothy McVeigh, you're not really going to do anything with this.
By the way, those U-Hauls don't even have a lot of power, and you're carrying more weight. Like,
He didn't
put a few pressure cookers with nails back there.
It's got doors on both sides. The other side is for trucks.
By the way, we've already had the black face of white supremacy and Larry Elder, right? I believe that was that.
Got some points I need to use, I guess. side? All right.
Okay, can someone we'll bring it up on the blue wall. I'm sorry, but it is a bad look. Baloo is basically taking Mowgli away from his parents, saying you don't need them, just the bare necessities. Life should all be about pleasure and doing whatever you want, whenever you want. And literally, he's on his load,
I understand it.
floating down the river away from civilization, where anyone could hear him scream, just the bare necessities.
I'll tell you when I don't understand it.
Apparently one of their necessities. Look.
Your worries and loincloth. What? All right. We taped it somewhere. I don't know where it is. And if we did, we'll have to retape it. It was a long time ago. So, before we go here to Mud Club, this is something else. I don't know if you know this. The Dodgers hate Catholics. They disinvited, but then re-invited an anti-Catholic drag group.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. So here's that. There's an anti-Catholic drag group because they call themselves the Sisters of whatever.
Perpetual indulgence.
That's right. Clever. So they got disinvited, and then they got re-invited. Here's a quick clip, and then we have some information.
The Dodgers have decided to disinvite an LGBTQ charity organization that was slated to receive an award for promoting human rights.
Done.
This is Sister Unity.
Silly drag nuts, and we take our sense of theatricality and drag and our breaking the gender taboos and our sense of fun and silliness, and we gear all of that towards service to the
Oh
community.
yeah,
Okay, crazy tranny warden.
Adele, huh?
I was wrong. I am all for Maine.
Yes. You know what? At a certain point,
I was changed my mind.
yeah, here, before we go to the, because there's more information there that some people don't know. It's pretty disturbing. This shows the pressure of the woke mob. Click that button right now. You're watching on Rumble. We're not on YouTube. Click that button, loudoscrowder.com. You just get to keep watching right now on Mud Club, where, honestly, you kind of got a pretty good feel for what it is since we're not on YouTube right now. This is what Mud Club is every day. We don't have to use a YouTube dump button. You get $10 off if you enter in the promo code FU. And sometimes I watch these things, and Nick DiPaolo has and you can go to nickdip.com and see his next live dates. He says he watches the news, and every now and then,
well-known brand. Past installations with those, and I've had issues with them before, but I mean, you can have that with any brand. I build my own, so. Personally, if personal recommendations, I would go with Lenovo's. With those, you can get either type of chip. Morning, Unindoctrinated.
Ugh.
Your bladder gets bigger.
Well, that's
Gerald
just
was
because
staring at it.
The smaller one.
my dad would go to the bathroom and have to call him maid. Should this be a Gerald No Sports?
I mean, it's not really about the sports, but it does involve the sports. Would you like it to be a Gerald No Sports?
He's sick. Okay.
Gerald knows things.
We have Jared knows things ready. He does them.
All right, you know what?
Fine.
That's good enough. It's Gerald. Oh, they updated the little effect that's coming out of your paycheck, Gerald.
They did. No, that was
Good. Yeah, come on, you get profit sharing. The hell's the difference?
That's fair.
By the way, all the profit just got wiped out on that after.
No, it did not.
I don't know where. I don't look. And we have to buy the software from the Cayman Islands.
That's not true at all. All right, so the Los Angeles Dodgers they made the right move.
It's where Adobe
Windows
Suite
11.
is.
On one of my laptops, I have Windows 11. The other one, I have Windows 10.
That's it. There's gotta be more left.
Basically, because the one with the Windows 10 really can't support 11. And I like having to be, to be using both. That way, I need to help somebody with certain issues with ones I can walk them through using the proper computer.
They disinvited them from their annual Pride Night. I think this is something going on like their 10th annual Pride Night, right? And so they did a lot of things that pissed off a lot of people, right? Some of those are the
Go to McDonald's,
go forth and sin.
get an iced tea.
Obviously, playing off the scripture that's saying, "Go forth and sin no more," that Jesus said. They also mocked the Virgin Mother and Jesus, the Son of God. I'm not sure that I needed to say that. You knew which Jesus I was talking about. Jesus from the commercial earlier.
That's Paco. That's
yeah, exactly. On Easter with costumes like, like Hunky Jesus.
Yeah, it says Easter is almost here. Have you decided on your Foxy Mary and Hunky Jesus costumes yet?
They also canonized...
You know what? Hey, look, I actually, just to be clear, to use the term, I want my Jesus hunky, so he's that much more powerful in throwing your ass in hell.
I already had some coffee this morning. I didn't get anything. I changed my mind. I had grabbed a couple things at Speedway, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I got some points I need to use at McDonald's, so I'm just going to get a tea.
Making fun of the Catholic canonization of St. Star Child.
And some fries.
Catholics do a good enough job of that.
Ooh, strawberry shortcake McFlurry. Damn, I wish I'd known that was there.
I disagree with the theology.
I think the wife said something about that.
This is just a perfect example of people just taking the easy route and creating anti-Christian.
I'm actually streaming to 5 networks this morning just as a hard test.
We're really creative, and so that's why we all look like Juggalo retreads. Yes, we all look like Juggalo retreads. But we're the insane tranny posse. We're the insane. Yeah, we're actually insane.
Well, and so they actually got a lot of pressure from the Hispanic community in general. I mean, think about this, right? The Hispanic community, when it comes to Catholicism, they're very ardent Catholics and will stand. Mock grades Christians, right? So that community stands up. By the way, I've yet to hear from some of the Catholic players on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Love me some McDonald's French fries.
They had a lot of players that stood up to this. The NHL had to start making some changes.
I don't know enough about baseball, but I'm willing to bet that there are some Latino players, some Hispanic players, because they don't even look at you if your last name is like, white.
All white people in baseball. It's weird. Yeah. No, there are definitely some Latin people in baseball, and obviously in the Los Angeles Dodgers team, amongst every other team, there are, and they should stand up and they'd be like, guys, I have a problem with this. This isn't somebody going out there and saying, hey, this is LGBTQ rights. Right. This isn't somebody going like, hey, just live and let live. This isn't saying love is love. This is somebody going out and actively, their only purpose, it seems, is to mock Catholicism.
And what was their involvement with they would go to the Dodgers games?
Well,
here it is.
I don't think they had.
I'm on the Eastern time zone, so it's 11:30 here. Hello. Thank you. You too.
They gave them an award there at the Dodgers Stadium. That's what they're going to do, right? So the Dodgers listen to their actual. So here's, oh my God, it's the official disinvitation. So the Dodgers had it right. We'll get to when they screwed it up. Given the strong feelings of people who have been offended by the sisters' inclusion in our evening, and in an effort to not distract from the great benefits that we have seen over the years of Pride Night, named one, we are decided to remove one of them from this year's group of honorees. Okay, fantastic. So in response, LA Pride pulled their participation from Dodgers Pride Night, which I call a win.
It's just such a difference. You think about it, like it used to be about sport, and I don't follow baseball, obviously, but it used to be about the sport, any sport, and now there's so much crap that's stuffed in, whether it's insert whatever here awareness month, or in this case, Pride. I mean, you can talk like I don't even see everyone with pink breast cancer ribbons. Just think about back in the day. It was an event if they allowed someone to discuss something that didn't directly relate to the sport. Like Luke Garrett going out, was it Luke Garrett with his speech?
Yeah.
Just out there, imagine. Tonight. I feel. Oh, it's a chip on a death.
I'm gonna be a woman.
Well, it's half hot dog, right?
Literally.
And God's ashamed of us.
It's also a foot-long hot dog that's in the parking lot.
Yes.
So this just goes to show you.
I want it to be free face mask night.
Well, what work could these sisters have possibly been doing in the community?
Don't know.
Well, just to normalize it.
If
To
they
normalize
show up
looking
like
like
that.
clowns. Yeah, that's the only goal.
I don't even want to normalize looking like actual clowns.
Well, look, so Pride Night 2022 faced a lot of backlash as well. They actually honored the first openly gay baseball player, Glenn Burke, in history, right? But fun fact, he died of AIDS.
I wouldn't say fun fact. It's more just
Want to get AIDS? Well, I didn't know
it's a fun
It
fact.
wasn't fun for Glenn.
No.
It's a long,
It's just
horrible
a-
end fact.
It's just a fun fact to have at parties in case they ask you.
It's a
who's the first
striking-
openly gay baseball player.
It's a strikingly bordering on sociopathic lack of empathy, Gerald. It's a fun fact.
Did I mention he had AIDS?
Rascal.
And this is, we are so proud. This is the first openly gay. Look, I want everyone to take a look at what happened.
Wow, where'd he go? Look, comment, tell me.
Choppa, choppa.
I think that was a fun fact. I think it's a fun fact. I'm not saying it's fun that he died. I'm saying it's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact. It's factoid.
Well, just like the Janet Yellen thing, I would like to see a James Cromwell next to that.
Yeah, it does.
Sister
It looks like
collection.
it looks like when the trash truck is going by. That's always fun. It has nothing to do with anything. This is the problem. It has nothing to do. Wait, what's this that I have? Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot this. I guess after backlash from the left. Oh no, the beautiful, the brave drag nuns have been reinvited. Correct.
Oh.
It was the Pride Night controversy that sparked debate with baseball fans and the LGBTQ plus community. And tonight, the Dodgers have reversed course. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are once again invited to Pride Night. NBC4's Macy Jenkins live right now.
I didn't green like that.
No, that wasn't. That's just rude, guys.
So they reversed course.
They did. So the Dodgers announced their reinvitation of the century.
Can you handle this, or do I really have to go blow my nose and cough up a lung? All right, I'll be back.
Perpetual Indulgence. After much thoughtful feedback from our diverse after gay people said they were unhappy with you, the Los Angeles Dodgers would like to offer our sincerest apologies to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, members of the LGBTQ plus community, and their friends and family. Listen, you guys made the right call. The gay
You got a piggy in
community-
front of us?
I don't even want to
Just
say
going
that.
the other way.
Trans community in Los Angeles got mad about this and reached out to you guys and said, we're not coming for Pride Night. And I'd have been like, good, fine, there is no Pride Night. We don't need that. We don't need to celebrate Pride at baseball.
This
You guys
wasn't a
just come out
principled
and do
decision. It was
baseball.
just it was an acquiescence
No,
based on some feedback.
The first decision was a somewhat principled decision in our debauchery show.
Not a bad idea.
That far in our debauchery.
I don't like
Basically
wasting,
what the decision was for
I just
Los
picked
Angeles
one up
Dodgers,
off the
but
floor and
instead,
ate it.
They capitulated.
Just so you know.
Oh, you know what? After listening to everybody, there's
That
a
was
lot.
the
I read
slight-
more
the
of it.
slight
There's a
wheeze
lot
in my-
that we
in
can
my
learn
steering.
From our friends, we'll educate ourselves better on
Fuck
the
them
issues
seagulls.
of crazy people dressed up as flying nuns who insult
Flying
Catholicism.
rats is what they are.
If you're a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball player right now, or a Los Angeles Dodgers fan right now, it is your job. I am 100%
Apparently I gotta be
serious
told not-
to boycott.
And this
that
guy needs to be
night.
told how to
It is
yield.
Your job, because they need to hear from fans. If they're saying, "Hey, we're listening to the community. We're going to learn from what you guys send us in emails. We're going to make sure that we educate ourselves." You have a duty to make your voice heard.
Come on, punch it,
Make
truck. You got
sure
that.
You do it. Don't
You got
do
it.
just because you had free
Punch
tickets,
it.
because nobody wants to go to a gay pride baseball game. It's balls and sticks. I get the metaphor, but it's
Yeah,
still
you don't
not
waste
fun.
McDonald's fries.
One player who might actually think Kershaw, their starting
I don't,
pitcher,
anyway.
is a devout Christian and
He is
missionary.
good.
Yeah.
And I hope he's scheduled to pitch and that he doesn't come out. I hope that he's scheduled to pitch and he doesn't even take the field. If that's not come out like that. Come out of the bullpen, not the closet, guys. Come on. I mean, this is sports, right? So look, we've got all these people who basically just make some noise. This isn't the actual fan base that's contributing to
I
having.
feel like her balls and sticks and come out.
Well, I mean, that's
You just
baseball.
take the field.
They could at least boycott hot dogs at the
Well,
ballpark. Something like that.
do something to make your voice heard.
Who gives a shit?
45% of the fans are.
I don't like the story. I don't like the story. I don't like what we're doing with this story. It's just who gives a shit. If you can't, just stop. Here's the solution. Stop watching your stupid sports ball. Okay, people. Okay,
I said that.
You're like, how do I save my country?
65 and 55, and that trooper's pulling away from me. Okay, he's slowing down now because the people in front of him just noticed him, so he's jamming on the brakes too. Oh yeah. That's why I always, whenever I don't do it that often, but when I do, I always offer to go. Yeah, I got you. She's like, why is there not that many fries in mine? I don't know. They fucked you over.
In general, I know the NFL is another NBA is in the lead that way for sure.
Okay, shut it off. Shut it off. Shut it off just like you shut off NASCAR. Oh, what do I have left? I don't know. Go outside. Take a walk. Go look at a tree.
Take up grilling.
Pick some berries. The point is, stop giving money to people who hate you.
Listen, shut it off, don't chop it off. That's been drilled those things. It's really coming out of my profit share.
Yes, it already has. By the way, or check out the accounting. The business is in the red.
I like it, but it's in the black.
I just, I really look, and everyone always complains up there. Son of a gun. You meant to say in the Dominican.
No, I meant profitable.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry. I know everyone says their generation is weaker, but what sacrifice are you willing to make? What sacrifice? Homeless, I just kill myself. Pain, I'll kill myself. Yeah, but football, but I like my team. Shut up. Oh, but I like that shitty watered down beer, even though there's 5 other ones that taste exactly like it on a national level and at least 30 on a local level. It's what I've done. I'm a creature of habit. What are you willing to sacrifice? For crying out loud. Has there ever been an easier way to vote with your dollar than Bud Light? Has there ever been an easier way to
Probably.
put your foot down than say I'm not?
She was busy working when I left the house, so she was on the phone. So she may hop in.
Go watch college ball.
But she knows. She knows I'm a fry burglar.
Right? If we held that standard.
I mean, she doesn't get regular hamburgers, so I can't be a hamburglar.
So is there something
There's a huge difference between the entire league, and particularly when you're talking about the NFL, which is, of course, the
She does get to play a fish, though.
Yes, the NFL. That's why there's I don't have Netflix. And it's hard. It is hard. There's a lot that you can't watch. But you know what? What are you willing to sacrifice? But certainly, when the entire
What about if it's so? I will agree. So the NFL, when they did their whole kneeling for the national anthem, Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys came out and explicitly told his players that was not going to fly. Would it be okay to watch the Cowboys in that scenario say, okay, well, the Cowboys aren't doing it, the rest of the league is. So if somebody's taking a stand, does it make sense to reward them?
Okay, great. Let's say there's very limited circumstances, but that's not what we're actually addressing.
Not addressing.
I have relatives who are like, yeah, but I don't. I had relatives like, oh, so I switched to it. And it was another Anheuser-Busch. And so I was like, oh, I refuse to believe it. I'm like, well, here's the label.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Okay, so let's take the most extreme scenario. Okay, you can't drink not just Bud Light, any Anheuser-Busch product. Okay, so that includes Shock Top and
they're all bad anyway.
I think Stella. Okay, fine. So now you can't watch the NFL, and you can't drink Anheuser-Busch, and let's say, and you can't watch Netflix, and you can't watch Disney. Okay, so now what you have to do is drink from any other beer, any other company, a local beer, brewery that you know, which by the way won't take you more than 5 minutes of research, and watch, let's say, college ball, or go watch sports near where you live. Go watch Little League for all I have no idea what sport. I don't know anything about.
Go get drunk and
go watch something. Go watch from channels that exist or on specifically on Rumble. All the point is then YouTube gets better, then you go to Rumble. You have to just make up your mind that some of this stuff matters. What are you willing to sacrifice?
You've got to be nimble if you have some principles. You've got to, move around, spend your dollar as you see fit.
At one point in this country, in a world war, people sacrificed coffee. Good luck doing that today for the Pinterest moms. Don't talk to me till I have my second cup of coffee. Well, what does that mean? I beat my children.
That's true. We we should put non-caffeinated bombs in the front line. We would win every war.
Just detach it. Like, the funny thing is, people have these Eastern religions of detachment, which is stupid. Brian Callen's a funny thing about that. He's like, yeah, he's like, I learned enlightenment, detached.
Yeah, it is nice.
I don't give about my children. It's great. But detach yourself from things. Detach yourself from these sort of, I guess you should, we all have traditions, right? We all have to, but marry yourself to traditions that actually matter. Not the tradition of Sunday is Bud Light and football. Swap it out. It's just like swapping out a bad habit for a better habit. Only it's not actually chemically addictive, like, say, heroin or nicotine or caffeine or, well, in this case, yes, alcohol would actually apply, but it's so low with beer that I doubt many people with alcohol is drinking anything but Bud Light.
It takes a lot. It really does.
Cases.
Yeah. It takes at least $25.
If you're in heroin, there's so many alternatives. There's so many alternatives. Back in the day, Folgers and Maxwell House, they had a shortage because of World War, or Nescafe because of World War II, you got no coffee.
Oops.
Now you walk down the block, or you order it online, and if you live in the middle of nowhere, think about it, it's 2023, in the middle of the hills of West Virginia, too.
Yeah.
The sacrifice there's like something I've seen something like, well, I don't want to go, because Amazon Prime is it's like an extra day.
Yeah, but the trade-off was you could either go without coffee or you can prepare to salute and say "Sieg Heil," right? That was your option. It's like, okay, maybe it is worth giving up some of these things so that we can save our country.
Yeah,
save the world.
Otherwise, you end up with MAID, you end up with death camps, you end up with death panels. I just do wonder at what point someone's willing to sacrifice something. And I'm sorry, when the entire league, there's a big difference between. In other words, let's take an extreme example. Okay, if Hannah Gatsby goes and performs at a theater, I don't boycott theater, right? Another example would be an entire production house like Disney who've decided this is an agenda. I'm saying start with the big ones, and unfortunately, the NFL and the NBA are just as bad as. I'm not going to watch an Oliver Stone or whatever the hell it is, but. That's different because it's an individual artist. No, you have to draw the line in the sand with these billion-dollar corporate. Start with YouTube. How about that? Start with YouTube and Facebook.
College football's better than this.
But my aunt's on Facebook. Okay.
Do you have a phone?
Are your fingers broken?
It's fair.
I haven't been on Facebook. Like, I think I probably. It's been at least 6-7 years. I've never even checked it. I don't even check into Twitter. I don't even. The people they take stuff that I say and put it up on Twitter, and then sometimes it's like, they misquote me. I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. But I'm sorry if you don't. I don't get it. That creative culture of doing the show. It's not healthy. They just saw some new studies that came out. I believe just this morning they were talking about that the earlier children are introduced to smartphone devices.
Yeah.
It causes effectively a rewire. You could argue brain damage, but a rewiring of the brain.
Yeah.
Sleeping trouble, socializing trouble, anxiety, mental illness. It's not a good thing. And it's like, well, yeah, but all the other kids have them. What are you willing to sacrifice? For God's sake, what are you willing to sacrifice? Make it pick it today. Make it something. I don't know.
You know my thoughts on the super fan. Gerald disagrees a little bit.
Oh, the person.
Just the men cheering other men and devoting their lives to them and wearing their name in their backs. It's always the case, guys.
No, we have friends on the show who fought for titles in both the UFC and Bellator organizations. I've never once worn their name on my back.
It's because it's not part of that sport. It's a terrible, terrible.
You're right. Faggotry is not a part of that sport.
I understand what you're saying.
Do you know who isn't a super fan? Wayne Gretzky. Michael Jordan.
What do you mean?
They're not super fans. They don't wear other men's names on their back.
They went to be the greatest possible athlete.
That's why I use them as an example.
Okay, John Stock.
You can't do that. Just makes it better.
There's a difference between a team jersey. In other words, you can be a man on the team wearing the jersey, a part of a team, and wearing another man's name is what he's saying. It's weird. Let's hear from the chat. Let's hear what the chat. Well, I mean,
I don't ever.
You can keep talking about it. I'm curious to hear what the chat says. You've always talked about that. Now, keep in mind,
I don't do it. Though.
Well, you don't do any jersey. I would imagine too, because you played at Notre Dame and you played hockey.
I'm not. I haven't played year level. I know that you don't do that, Gerald. But this culture of my fantasy league, that's a whole thing. My dad watched the Lions and the Purple People Eaters and the Bears.
Technology improved, Darren. There was no way to have a fantasy league.
Tony Romo's my fantasy. I mean, come on.
I swear, I know so little.
It's emasculating.
Why have we done a Stephen No Sports? Well, I know so little about sports. The Victoria's Secret model O-lineman.
Oh, damn.
I have Tiffany's name on my back.
All right, so let's pull this up. I'll let this speak for itself.
Gear for athletes and fans. UFC celebrates proudly with customizable gear for athletes.
Son of a...
Awesome. It's customizable gear.
Pride!
Yeah, well, okay.
Wait, hold on. Is it pride fighting? Because that would be different.
Yeah, but you also have people who've come out and said no. And I have a Benil Dariush, who's a Christian, who came out in Dubai. They did security guys for him. My point is, it's not the policy of the UFC to kneel or them to come out and rainbow shit.
That's fair.
Yeah, you know, if people think it's enough, fine, I won't watch it.
No, I don't want you.
But Dana White also came out and endorsed Donald Trump. And Dana White also came out and
There's enough counterbalance there, so I think you're fine for now.
I don't think there's anything wrong with making something available for people. In other words, people say, hey, it's Black History Month, so I don't know, here you go, get a black t-shirt, whatever.
What is a different sport, too, in that these guys are businesses unto themselves. They're purely entrepreneurial. And Dana White built something as an entrepreneur. It's not a collective socialist organization. It's a non-profit. It's very different.
But if people think they need to boycott the UFC, I will.
I'm sure.
Maybe a little fun.
I mean,
yeah, I do, but again,
it's to the point, then yes, but it's not there yet. It's not.
Well, I made the exception for the Cowboys if you want to watch the Cowboys, but the problem is that's not the business model of the NFL. People watch games all of the time, and they want you to consume more and more.
Of course,
and by the way, that's the problem that happened with the UFC right now. The UFC used to have major pay-per-view events. Now you can't even name half the people in the card because they're beholden to content with ESPN, and it's just running stuff nonstop.
Well, that's what they do. They take something good and they're like, well, if it's good now, it must be good if we have more of it. It's going to be better, right? It's like, well, no, that's not the case at all. You're just diluting it.
Yeah, and it's really hard for the great stars and names. But Benil Dariush is going to be fighting Charles Oliveira. He's a guy who has been a friend to the show. He's been on the show, but he's posted stuff on social media with him. And that guy's a guy with some brass balls. Going out there and telling people
This tea is excellent. I need to start drinking tea and water again instead of all that soda. I got a new pair of jeans for my birthday, and they're a bit snug. I refuse to go up a size, so I'm going to be uncomfortable until I lose the weight. I'm going to be working later, too, so I'm not stopping to eat and stuff like that every day before I go into work.
To just paint yourself silver and blue, run up and down the aisle and steal the ref. It's enough. You've seen this stuff. It's so overboard.
So I will say that
Steal the ref. Yeah, you've seen there's one of those guys that run down and say, get on the field. It have to be mayhem. That's true. That was a different type of sports.
That's not shameful. That is funny.
Who's the guy with the giant memories that used to? She had a name. What was her name? She got the bounty hunter's wife. It's a kind of a name. Elvira. They'll find it. No, she would. Yeah.
They're like, well, hold on.
I got you. Oh, she put a move on. She's got quite a juke on her.
Everyone gets their 15 minutes.
Let her Jay. So,
oh, not a fat joke. I'm getting fat, man. Same size that I've always worried about because they're new and not stretched at all.
I don't think that it's emasculating for people to be fans of sports.
They've been snug.
To sit in front of the TV all day.
Just say I don't need a belt.
My insert game here, and even if it comes down to missing.
If I did need a belt, I'm using my last hole of my belt. So it's usually a sign it's time to reverse course for a little bit.
Didn't say to be a fan of a sport.
No, to be a super.
That's what you just know. You just say to be a fan.
I meant to say
He doesn't have a problem.
I actually am gonna order some of those athletic greens just to give them a try as well.
Games, right? It's a family event.
Salty crackers sold me on them.
Spending time with your family. What he's saying.
Any of you guys watch Salty Crackers?
He's saying it's wearing another man's name on your back, where you've chosen to find your identity in someone else. The man in the arena.
No, dude, we're not driving on this
never
thing.
enter any arenas. Not only pro bowl. They never enter any arenas.
I gotta get around this guy before he moves over, because with that load, he's not gonna want to drive in that lane either.
You're the unit at the Coliseum. You are cheering other men.
Any place really needs some fucking work that does.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
This fucking little patch of freeway here.
Baseball.
Stuck the line.
But I appreciate excellence in every sport. I don't know anything about golf. Well, I admire Tiger Woods, guys that are adept at something.
The guy just get a hole in one.
Really?
Stuff happened.
I don't know if I can get the time off for Fat Camp.
You remember this from baseball? Morgana the kissing.
Morgana, that's it. What did I say? Gargantua?
Yeah, she would kiss players on the field.
That's right. Morgana.
Wait, did it just show she kissed black players in the field too? decals on it.
Never wore his jersey. Now, how about this?
Now, was he the Iron Man? Was he the guy that played?
Played like 3,000 or 4,000.
See, I know nothing about baseball, but I know
Did you
that
know
that is an area of excellence.
Yes, exactly. It's a respectable feat. He was also good, but
Yes.
he also didn't miss a game. So you would be pretty much talking about adults doing this. Like, you wouldn't have a problem with like a 10-year-old boy going, "Hey, this guy's my favorite player. I'd love to have a jersey."
I had the hockey cards and followed it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No,
You're talking about your grown men.
It kept me out of trouble. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like professional.
You're a grown man, burn your jerseys or get them signed and hang them on the wall. Like
Guys, you're focusing on the jersey. I'm focusing on the ism.
No, I'm focusing on both.
No, but you're not. You are, but you're talking about the jerseys. In other words, there's a huge difference.
It's a metaphor.
Watches a sport, enjoys watching a sport every now and then versus someone who wears the jersey and wears it out in public. That's indicative of.
Wife, get me a beer while I celebrate another rich, young, good-looking, fit man. What? Look at this guy. He is this image that I'd love to be, but I'm on the couch, getting out of shape, drinking, and cheering him on. It just, I don't know. Maybe I see it differently.
Units in the college.
Yes.
Super fans are balls.
There you go. That's the take. Super fan.
Get me a beer, woman. My guys are playing. What?
Wait a minute. What if they're winning? What if they transition to winning? They would be. Well, they would have to win. This is confusing.
Get me my beer, woman. My Juggalo nuns are being awarded.
That's right.
Back to Morgana.
7th inning stretch.
Yes.
No, Morgana, I am a fan.
Let's grab some of the chats here. So it seems like people are signing with
No, me. They're signing.
they were signing with
From Armstrong, question for you, Crowder and crew. What do y'all think should be prioritized subjects for homeschooling kids beyond the normal language arts?
Salty veg.
You know what I
Isn't
would
that
say?
the name of
is social skills.
one of
Interact with people. It is remarkable how many younger people just don't.
Bow's
Hello. How are you?
Voodoo Dolls?
Thank you.
Wasn't that the original?
I mean, it's kind of jarring to use the word where very often I notice if someone's under the age of 20, they have no basic etiquette. And I don't mean like kids. Now I mean
I'm holding the door now. You can't get in.
yeah.
No, but your little munchkins and Gerald's very polite. Unbelievable.
Well, it's hard.
Obviously, you work on it. It's
You constantly do. But something else too that I think really helped me out, but it just naturally happened in my life. That too. No, it was my father. He would take me to work with him, and he would do lots of manual labor.
It's funny, a lot of the different
Take me in the truck.
whenever there's a salty fan in there, he wants to make sure that he lets everybody know that he's a salty fan. It cracks me up.
Basically, not the actual framing or anything like that. Electrical, which is highly illegal, by the way. And I had helped him do everything that you could do, like covering pools. Like I'd done a lot of manual things, and it really taught me the value of hard work and being able to do something, but also accomplishment. Like I actually would help him finish something, and that's something that's missing from a lot of kids. They get book smarts, they get to look at stuff, and they get to do kind of math work on it. Go out and actually do a project. Go do something.
Well, I think what's really important, yes, I was talking about etiquette and social skills, which seem to be on the wayside. But I've talked about this in the show quite a bit. As someone, when I say I wasn't a problem child. I wasn't like Macaulay Culkin, a good son, tossing Elijah Wood off the treehouse, which was funny. Yeah. But I would often get feedback from teachers that I was disruptive, or I'd be talking back, or acting out. And I was always kind of a C to B student. If I put in a little bit of effort, I'd be a B+ student, and if I was bored, I'd be a C student. I never really learned. I don't think I retained anything from grade school or high school, honestly. It was only when I learned how to learn, and that was after school, where I realized, hold on a second, I've moved to this country, the United States. My dad tried to kind of keep me in the know as it related to American history, but I never went through those courses. I said, I need to learn this stuff. And then I would just sort of, the coping mechanisms, because for me to sit and look at a page or a screen for a long period of time, I don't really absorb information. So I learned how to sort of read information and associate it with something else in my mind. That's how I can go by rote with some things, and I'm horrible with names, but never forget a face. That's why everything has a nickname. I learned how my brain operates to learn. People learn in different ways. It's a superpower. It's a renewable resource if you can actually learn the skill of learning.
Yeah.
And some people are really good at it. Some people...
Well, you're a maven. We talk about that. You're a maven of subject matter. You get on a subject and you drill down. And what would have been brochures in the old days is now the internet. And you just become a PhD in 6 months or whatever, and then you're on to something else.
Yeah.
And do it all the time. I watch it happen.
Like, I don't know why I could tell you what the Honda dirt bike lineup was in the year 1998, but it's because I was trying to convince my dad that I needed a dirt bike.
That was you and dog. Yeah. You trying to convince your parents that you could have a dog, and so you just learned everything about dogs.
Yeah, and I probably came out of the chute too strong because back then I wanted a Cane Corso.
No, I doubt he did.
And they're like, we're in an apartment, you dip.
How about a Yorkie?
Yeah.
Well, where I live, it's one of the top middle schools in the country. Not the state, in the country. People parachute into this area to set up shop and have their kids go to school.
They do.
And I'll be out there at the mailbox, and some kid will be trudging down my street with an 80-pound backpack and a cello.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey, it's Friday. Is the weekend calling you? Huh? And they look at their shoe tops and they walk by. And they've got a 4.6 grade point average, and they're going to go home to Tiger Mom, and we're going to drill in the subjects. But they have zero people skills. No ability to function in this society. And they're going to work for the C students who have some people skills.
Well, that's like, the Great Wall of China. Someone could bring this up from the...
Why did you go there? I didn't say it.
No. Well, the Great Wall of China, this unbelievable, you can see it from space. People say, I don't know if that's true.
It is true.
But obviously, one of the largest physical structures I think that's ever existed. I don't know how you
But then you could see I-75 from space. Really?
Yeah. Why is it? But they used to do it through indentured servants.
This isn't Google Maps.
And in this case, it's funny because they did it to keep out the Mongolians.
The horde.
Yes. They were like, Mongolians, we just build a wall.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to take their calls. But it had been breached, and they made it this impenetrable places. And
With doors.
3 times they bribed the guard.
Yeah.
I believe that's true. 3 times they bribed the guard. Why? Because they only focused on... As much as people love to tout Eastern philosophy, it's godless, it's empty, it's vapid, and so they had a problem where even they could not assign people with enough upstanding moral character to guard the wall that they forced everyone to build. So don't let that fall by the wayside, right? Learning
That's good.
your values and how to learn, why you believe what you believe. You learn how to learn, and you learn how to rationalize your position. You can pick up a lot of things. You can pick up anything. It's sort of like someone who can play by ear, maybe doesn't know how to read music, but I've met people who know how to play by ear, and they can take any instrument and be serviceable.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know how they learn. It's very different. Now, they wouldn't ever pass.
She's doing good.
Music class. They wouldn't be able to read the music. It doesn't mean that they can't pick up a guitar and blow you away.
She's not sick anymore, but I mean, she's still having the allergy issues. Pollen has gotten so bad. I told you about this already, but yeah, she's doing pretty good.
Pull the mic up.
Came out and hung out with us at the fire for a couple hours
Do you recall a conversation or debate with
Saturday
Bob Crowder
night, so.
where you disagreed with him and you changed your mind?
Surprised she hasn't popped in here though. She's working from the house, but she was on the phone when I left, so she's
I
busy.
do remember. I don't know so much change my mind as shame me into hiding.
One thing that's weird about her job is her job, when she does her job well, it makes everybody else's job harder. So, because she brings clients in. She's the director of admissions. So, when she works really hard like she normally always does and brings in as many as they can, of course that pisses off the rest of the staff because then they can't be lazy. So she had a funny back and forth with one of the nurses last night. It is what it is, though. I mean, I wish I could do very little myself and still get paid, but I get paid on my performance. I get a set.
Trying to get plowed at the show tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Walks off.
You would just say it. Like, in other words, he knew that it was a more effective tool if it was funny and it was humiliating.
Right.
And then I'd be like, okay, he has a point.
It's fair.
So, and we're trying to think of any topics on which we maybe disagreed. No, because it was...
Everybody, if you're watching on Rumble or on Kick
Let's try.
or on D Live, I can't see your chat.
Their son without blowing
I
up.
appreciate you being here and jumping in the chat, but I can't see the chat while I'm driving.
Friend?
Only chat I can see is Twitch
Friend?
and
Like, this is
YouTube.
your friend that wants to transition their son? This seems like you guys might be miles apart.
Yeah,
on
yeah, it
how you
does.
think.
If you get to that point,
Yes.
it's tough to turn that ship. I mean,
It is. It's like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just present
That
the
has to
facts.
take-
You know what? Present some of the facts that we've given. The suicide rate doesn't change. right? There's so many people that regret this thing.
I will
Wish we
check the
could
chats
undo it.
afterwards,
This is
though.
something we can't undo. I don't know what age this person is, but it's going to be irreparable damage. Even if you're like, hey, maybe let's see if you really just wait.
Well, hold on a second.
Wait.
Is this the question again? Is it the child wants to transition, or their friend is trying to transition their child?
I'll pull back up.
The friend is trying to transition.
Yeah, she does have a great heart. It's one of the things that attracted me to her. She was actually doing the same type of work when I met her. It was at a different company, but yeah, we both were. I mean, she wasn't in much of a leadership role at the time, but she was doing the same type of work. And I was the IT guy for that place.
Now, before that, I'm sure the conversation probably came up about gay juggalo nuts, and you could have made your voice heard. I'm sure the conversation probably came up about.
Yeah, they fucked up.
I'll tell you this,
Not keeping
we've had
us.
People who work here, we don't do it anymore, who've been more liberal, and it's presented problems. But anyone who lasted here more than 2 was no longer liberal. At the very least, moderate. My people in my friends, social circles, I mean, again, people who I would trust, it would never get to the point. They would never be in my circle of trust if they were helping someone transition their own child transition. That means that I failed as a friend. You can't make decisions for somebody, but if you have a friend who is this, that's an act of evil, and either you have not tried to in any way go through the script with them, to change their mind and have conversations with them, or they have their ears completely closed off. They don't have ears to hear. Either way, you're too far.
I'll definitely do a desktop stream. I'm thinking about doing it with Prism on the desktop, though.
We should have been having these conversations that it didn't get to this point. And I don't think, respectfully, if you're
We'll see how it works out.
It's different. If you're talking about a close friend,
Actually, no, I'm
trying to
not,
transition
because
their son, that means there is
it's different when I'm doing it on my home desktop versus on the laptop. It's a lot easier on the laptop to just use StreamYard.
Every single experience of mine, if someone is one of those folks who's going to transition their child, well, you know, I'm just going to.
Unless I have an extra monitor.
I think I'm going to go to the
don't.
drag queen story hours, but they will remove themselves from my life without me even having to. I'm curious as to how long this relationship has lasted, how close you are, and how many interactions.
It's a mean thing to do. It's not tolerant. It's mean kind. It's a mean thing to do. Liberalism is mean.
Yeah, to a son. How old's the son? It doesn't matter. It's evil.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
No, I 100% agree. I think you have to have these difficult conversations earlier on in the relationship as a friend. If you, like, again, I think your point is right. If this is just an acquaintance, that's different. It's different, a little bit more difficult. But
Or it's like a relative.
And look, there are ways, if you can't change somebody's mind, because sometimes the path to victory is not the most direct, because some people are just looking to defend their decision. If you're at the point where they're going to defend their decision, I just need to make my voice heard, and at least I've done my job.
Laughing,
That's fine.
so
They think
we'll
about it
see.
later. I get it. But if you do think that there's an opportunity to change their mind about this, go directly to, hey, the stats don't say that this is any better, so at the very least, wait, buy the time to help them make a better decision.
But tell her to jump in the stream. She's sending me jokes, so she's probably not right busy at the moment. So
What's your problem? This, and I think she had a break. And I said, she's like, well, maybe I'm thinking about a gun. I said, okay, well, how much do you know about guns? We sat down. I said, okay, this is a semi-automatic pistol. This is a revolver. This is the simplest way to start. Just so you know, this comes out, right? You pull the trigger, it goes bang here. There's a slide that you might have to rack. Finger off the trigger. This is what kind of a safety this has. This is how you load a magazine, and this is the reason that you're safer in a house with a firearm than without one if you are treating it responsibly. And I said, just someone breaks in while you are there, and you cannot protect yourself. So you are surrounded by loaded firearms all the time in this office, and no one has ever been harmed, nor is there ever any risk. Of course, if there are any children in the office, the firearms go away and they're locked, or most of us have them on some kind of a retention holster, right? It's not just like we're just leaving them around in the middle of the floor where it's like, hey, right next to the Tinker Toys. But this happened for a long time.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Last time I do that.
A long time, and then after about 1 or 2 years, this person then was going to the range and actually became a pretty good shot. It starts with that conversation immediately. Well, hold on a second. Oh, you believe the stat that you're more likely to have your gun used against you. Well, let me show you, even if you believe that's true, how you eliminate that issue, the safety issue, immediately. And it's always been a gradual transition. But it has to take place from the very moment. You have to pick your relationships wisely. You can't just decide to be friends with everyone. And this comes down to, let's say you're a people pleaser. Okay, I get that it's a sacrifice. You have to speak truth. And I don't mean go out and be a dick. Tell at Westboro Baptist Church. I'm saying live your life authentically, be who you are, and people know where you stand. And they know that you love them even if you don't agree with them. But you're a people pleaser, so that means you'll shut off some friends. But go back to this. Whether it's the NFL, Anheuser-Busch, or having a close social circle of people who matter, who are loyal, who are real friends, and you won't run the risk of them transitioning their child while you have to sit idly by feeling as though it's a violation of conscience. What are you willing to
for sure.
sacrifice?
That's a great idea.
Are you willing to sacrifice some sports games? Are you willing to sacrifice
a
slightly less watery beer by switching to a brand competitor? Are you willing to sacrifice a larger social circle of people who likely don't matter
Where is it?
scheme of your life anyway, in order to live your life authentically and actually practice what you preach? Not asking you for D-Day. We're not asking you for rations, right, in a war effort. Just asking you to flip a switch where you're willing to make some sacrifices. For everyone, it's different, but you have to be willing to. We're at a point in this country, look, that's what separates you from the left. They're not willing to sacrifice anything if it creates personal discomfort. That's how policy is created. You have to contrast that. Pick your sacrifices and start. We'll see you tomorrow.
6? Shit, I could go. Oregon by the Bay. Ooh.
Central 1488, turn clear left. Clear.
Monroe High School. Scanner's pretty quiet this morning. Quiet.
Central 1449.
Whatever.
Can you start with one on preference for a white Malibu, right side damage?
You got plate.
Again, Edward John Union 37 sub 3.
It is a beautiful day today. It's gonna suck to be in the basement for a good portion of it, but it is what it is. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna try and get out to the game. I can skip dinner or just grab something on the way. Let me know if you're going though. I may go anyway. I just need the address. I don't know where those folks play the little leagues around here. She's talking about my godson. I've got 3 godchildren, and I'm a heathen. So work that out in your head. Make that make sense.
Central 5020, I contacted Austin's. They're gonna TX back with the kid. 20 square. I'll be clear as soon as I'll be out of the station. Okay, for you lay me on the thing. Clear.
All right, thank you. Be nice to see something besides a bunch of idiots at the bar while I'm trying to eat. I may not be able to stay the whole time. Oh yeah, I would take the pug. Everybody will love them. Make sure you bring them some water because it's gonna be hot out there. And ball fields are heat magnets, you know that. Oh, I'm going to be playing Russell from the beginning when I set up the desktop stream. I park in the shade when it's sunny out like this. I don't park in the front of the building. Yeah, I'm gonna play catch up. I'll put it on 1.25. What time is this? 12 here. So I'll definitely be up by the top of the hour. I'm looking at
14:49. You got
half the hour, like 12:30 here.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm gonna be playing that. I'm gonna go ahead and get inside though. I'll leave my vape in here because apparently I can't control myself and I keep vaping in there and they don't like it. Yeah, Russell just went live on Rumble as well.
205 North Telegraph. 205 North Telegraph. I'm going to check the location for Kimberly Morrison. She's an employee there. She's supposed to leave an hour ago. Not feeling well. She's supposed to be in a gradient compass with heavy front end damage and a partial plate of Edward King, Ocean, John. Calls her daughter, and she's worried she may not be okay. Clear.
Sounds weird. Let me see what I got sent. Photo? Oh, she sent me the map. So no address? It's the name of the place? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Kuntz Complex? What's up? Oh, yeah. Did you ever find out who ate that sub I left behind?
Central 5873, and I'll be able to complain now.
Yeah. Kuntz. This one's spelled with a C. Kuntz. Kuntz Complex. I know this. I know where this is. Right there by the Department of Recreation. Okay. Yeah, I should probably have time to go. Kuntz. All right, y'all. I'm gonna kill this. I will be bringing it back up, hopefully within the next half hour. I do want to get caught up on that, and I want to have it going by the time any of my appointments may show up. Payroll today too, so I'm gonna be playing a lot of content without much commentary, but you never know how it's gonna go. See you, everybody. Peace. Thanks for riding with me.